Hi everybody, I'm Jared Pike. This is Shell Point Today for Wednesday, December 4th. On today's show, we meet the Scrapbooking group, who use all sorts of craft items to create amazing gifts and books. We'll also talk to Neal Clarke, who reunited with his college singing group to record an album more than 50 years later. But first, we have this note from Lilly & Company, the Sanibel jewelers who visit Shell Point on a weekly basis. They will not be able to visit Shell Point this week, but will return next Wednesday, December 11th, starting at 8:45 a.m. in the Resident Activity Center. Of course, you can always visit their place on Sanibel, and Resort Services is offering a trip to do just that. They're calling it the Bling and Brunch, where you'll be able to join your friends and neighbors on a trip to their Sanibel jewelry showroom. They'll have festive finger food, delicious cookies, and visits from some canine friends. The place is beautiful, decked out with paintings by Sanibel retro artist Myra Roberts. So, sign up for this trip, happening next Thursday, December 12th, with court pickup starting at 10 a.m. Call the Island Service Desk at 454-2282 or the Woodland Service Desk at 454-2054. Now this morning, we have the December meeting of the Shell Point Garden Society. They welcome special guest Penny Crawford from Rose Glen Gardens, who will discuss how to grow roses in Florida. All are welcome at the Garden Society, meeting at 11 a.m. in the Woodlands Oak Room. And then tomorrow, make sure you have your snowshoes and warm woolen mittens, because it's time to light the Christmas tree. Except Shell Point's Christmas tree is a Florida tree, floating in the lagoon, surrounded by manatees. The tree lighting is a fun, festive event with holiday refreshments and great live music. Then, the oldest Shell Point resident flips the switch to light the tree. It all starts tomorrow at 5:45 p.m. in the Island Amphitheater. And immediately thereafter, head over to the church auditorium, where the Shell Point Singers will present their Christmas concert. It's a free evening of holiday frivolity, with the tree lighting starting tomorrow at 5:45 and the concert at 7:15. Meanwhile, as if your schedule weren't full enough already, we have many people here at Shell Point who like to make their own Christmas gifts for their loved ones. Now, one of the greatest gifts you can give is a window into your family history, using photos and mementos to tell a story to your kids and grandkids. That's exactly what residents are doing at the Scrapbooking group, which meets every Wednesday starting at 9:15 a.m. in the Tarpon Room in the Island Tunnel. Let's learn more.
A scrapbook is a combination of your photos and an ornamental way to display them in an acid-free book with acid-free products to save the photos forever.
A photo album is what we used to do, and now what we're doing is taking those photos so that they don't deteriorate over time, and we're doing embellishments. We're adding things, we're creating the story, and through the pictures, and some of us are doing journaling and adding the stories so that in future generations they can not just see the picture, they get the big picture.
You make your scrapbook for a purpose or for no purpose. I make mine for no purpose. I do a couple pages of whatever I want to do and put them all in one book. Most people pick a subject and they might do a grandchild and give that grandchild the book for their birthday. They might do their mom. They might do a funeral book for someone who just died and they bring it to the funeral. And there's a lot of different ways you can do that.
Some of us are also combining it with genealogy. I've done books on all the family members, even great-grandchildren now. So it's creating memories, it's sharing, and leaving a life history.
This is a book that I had made for my mom and dad for their 50th anniversary. And it was all just pictures in there. So I'm now taking the book apart and I'm making pages that are now from the same book. If you want to do inexpensively, you can just get a folder like they have in school. And I made copies of our reunion. This is one that I did on one reunion. And I gave it to everybody. So it was very economical. And then this is another 8.5 by 11 photo. That was for my mom's funeral. And then I'm doing Christmas letters. And I have each year.
This was done by my son when we went to NASA, and so most of it is just pictures, you know. So I need to improve on the fixing it up for a scrapbook instead of just having it in a notebook.
Those are scissors that make very pretty little cuttings like this, cutting around pictures and things, and it just embellishes it so that it looks really, really nice, you know. So, and I'm very happy now that Kay decided to do this again because, you know, it's been a long time for me, but I'm enjoying it tremendously.
I'm just sorting materials now for a scrapbook that I'm going to make that ties in with the genealogy research I'm doing on my father's father. He came from Hungary in 1904, and he went to work in the copper mines in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And so what I'm doing today is just sorting through those materials to decide what I'm going to use. But I'm having a good time looking at this. It's a wonderful hobby.
Debbie has a completely different idea on scrapbooking, a lot of embellishments. And these are scrapbook pages she also did. It's not a class, but we are teaching while we're also doing our own projects. And everyone in here is willing to help someone. And she spoke about Mildred. Mildred had never done scrapbooking before. She was here 3 times. And both the first 2 times everyone was telling her what to do, but she couldn't start. So she finally started, and now she's doing it at home, and she's amazing. She's teaching now.
I had boxes and boxes and boxes of photos. So I thought, how long am I going to save these and when can I ever look at them? So I decided when I heard about this, I was going to come and learn. So I brought some pictures and then I looked at what everybody was doing, but I was scared to do it myself. I thought, oh, I'll mess that up. I can't do it. Now, I started out with this one. This is just to see if I could do it. I learned from the girls here, you know, to how to make a page beautiful. And this is like the family tree that I learned from Doris. And so I had fun, and I do have fun, and I do it at home. And after I get up in the morning, I see what I have to do. I just have fun doing it. And they think it's pretty good. I learned after 2 classes.
We teach and learn. We're teachers and we learn, and all these supplies all down there are all donated so everybody can help one another, and so we buddy up.
I've learned a lot from them. I didn't know about corner cutter. I was doing it with the scissors all these years, and there it is. Joy showed me how to do it. I love it. We'll do another one. Yeah, they've been wonderful. She's been a joy to me.
This is a Christmas card I received last year, and I thought it was so adorable. I wanted to copy it and make a centerpiece for my table. So this is Fine Art 101. You know, I've never tried anything like this before, but there's so much talent here. I'm getting so much help, but I'm loving it. I'm learning so much.
I used to paint, and I painted my cards. And then one day, one of my friends that I painted with said, why don't you try card making? And I said, well, that's what I'm doing. And she said, no, she's come with me. So I went, and I got hooked.
Cards are very similar to scrapbooking, and you can make it as easy or as hard as you want. You can do things on the computer. You can just add paper. You can stamp it. You can add an embellishment. You know somebody that you haven't seen in a long time? Send them a card. Wish them happy birthday. If you talk to anyone that does scrapbooking or card making, they'll say the same thing, that we get together, we have a lot of fun, and we exchange ideas. So, like I didn't have enough of some product, and somebody over there lent me some foam, and somebody else will look at something and say, oh, I can do that.
I make various kinds of lace, the kind that lends itself to cards and bookmarks, and I use it for my little sunbonnet girls on my cards.
got my adhesives in here. I've got scissors that snap. I've got fancy scissors. They make different edges on them. I work with ribbons. I work with punches, paper shapers. We shape the paper to what we want them to use.
The fun thing about this and the ladies who got this together is the camaraderie. Everyone's very friendly, and the ideas you get from other people. And look at the things people have volunteered to give to us, to donate. For instance, this box is full of wonderful things that probably took someone a long time to collect, and we get the privilege of trying it out and using it ourselves.
I never did the scrapbooking or anything when I was young, and now I'm finding all this creativeness coming out in doing the storytelling as well.
The first time is the hardest. And then I find the more I do, the more I get into it. I'm addicted to it. And I find that when I leave here, I'll go home. After 5 hours here, I'll go home just more.
It's all different types, and we share ideas, and I think that's what makes it so much fun.
It's better to look at this, and I'll never drag out all the pictures in the boxes. That's not important. Important is to get it in one place.
We would like to invite anyone who might have an interest, come by and see us. You don't have to bring anything if you just want to check us out. And it's Wednesdays. It starts at 9:15. We're here until 2. You can bring your lunch. You can go for lunch and come back. You can come and go whenever you want. No cost. And we have a lot of supplies that we share. If you really want to do it, bring some pictures and a pair of scissors. Check us out, and then you can buy the items. And you can do it cheaply or expensively.
If you have any interest whatsoever in any of these things, you are most welcome, because we're all willing to help and share.
All this week, we are talking with retired pastors who live at Shell Point and are continuing their service in unique ways. Today, we talk with Neal Clarke, who, during his college days, toured with a men's gospel quartet. 50 years later, they all reunited, including Shell Point resident Dick Pease as the piano player, to record a new album. Let's hear how Neal got the call to become a pastor.
I was a teenager, made a commitment in my life at about 15 or 16 to serve the Lord any way He wanted me to. And over a period of years, it became plain to me that pastoral ministry was where I was being led. I was Dick Pease's roommate in college, participated in his wedding with Ellie, and we traveled the country for a whole summer, singing in churches and so forth. He was the piano player.
At the piano, Dick Pease from Wellsville, New York.
And I sang in the quartet.
Neal Clarke from White Plains, New York.
In the sea of God's forgetfulness, that's good enough for me. Praise God, my sins are gone.
We traveled in a 1952 Studebaker, and so Dick and I had a great many times together in that experience as well. 30-some years later, the 5 of us, 4 guys and the pianist, we got together in Toledo, Ohio, and got in a professional studio and made a CD of all the stuff we used to sing from memory. And it's for sale at the gift shop here at Shell Point.
I have peace and joy and blessing in the service of the King.
I went to what was then Gordon Divinity School outside of Boston, which is now Gordon Conwell Theological Seminary. And I graduated from there in 1960. And my first pastorate was in Bennington, Vermont. And so I was already in New England going to seminary, and wound up pastoring a church in New England and stayed there for a good long time. Then moved around a bit to New York State and actually back to Nyack, where I pastored the church near the campus of the college there. And then was called back to New England to serve as the district superintendent for that part of the country, for New England. And when that concluded, I was in my 60s and not quite sure what the next step was. And I decided I needed a home base. And so that was, after that year, I formally retired and moved to Shell Point. And then I began a series of interim pastorates. My first one was in Champaign, Illinois. When call comes to help out in an interim pastorate, I'm usually ready to go. And right now, I'm helping out at the North Shore Alliance Church in North Fort Myers. They're without a pastor, and I'm going to be assisting that congregation for, I'm not sure how many months, but I just started a few weeks ago. She and I went to college together. We knew each other very, very casually. She happened to marry a good friend of mine, and he was a pastor also in the Alliance. He passed away about 6 years ago, and we bumped into each other a few years back. So for a year and a half we dated, and no one knew. There were two people here in Shell Point who were in my confidant and coaching me, but no one else knew. And we came very close to eloping without anybody knowing, but then we decided we would at least let people know. So we told a few people, but most people found out with an announcement after the wedding, which was in her living room. It was really just a very small family affair. Retirement is certainly valid, but when you have a sense of God calling you into ministry and gifting you in some way to serve the body of Christ, that giftedness and that calling never goes away. And so you always want to be of benefit to the kingdom of God, and my calling was pastoring, and so that's the best kind of contribution I can make.
Coming up, it's time to cover all of today's happenings from Resort Services. Then stay tuned for your menus and Village Church connections.
It's Wednesday, December 4th, and you're here with Leslie Brand and Mary Franklin, and we're here to tell you about all the fun things that are going to happen today. We're going to start out at 7:45 in the men's Bible study at the Osprey Room on the island. 8:45 is the resident council meeting in the social center on the island. 9 o'clock we have the men's match play doubles tennis at the tennis courts. Also at 9 o'clock is the watercolor group with Phil Hilton in the art studio. We have scrapbooking group. It meets from 9:15 to 2 o'clock in the Tarpon Room. Come and go as you please, and we'll have great instructors there to help you with whatever scrapbooking and bookmaking, whatever you like to enjoy. At 10 o'clock is the ladies' Bible study in the Osprey Room on the island. Model Yacht Sailing Club is at 10:15 in the Commons Lake at the Woodlands. 11:30, come out for our Health Connections, the specifics and strength training at the Health Club. 11 o'clock is the Shell Point Garden Society meeting. We have Penny Crawford of Rose Glen Gardens coming, so make sure you're there at the Oak Room at the Woodlands. Now we have Mary to tell you all about the afternoon activities.
After lunch, you can enjoy the game of chess in the Library Lounge at 1 p.m. Also at 1, if you're signed up for the Balance Basics at Assisted Living, you'll want to be in the community room of King's Crown. 1:30 to 3:30, the Model Train Room will be open for tours. And at 1:45, Health Connections Balance and Mobility Training Level 1 will take place in the Health Club. Jazz and Stuff will be playing their music in the Grand Cypress Room at 2:30. And at 2:45, the Healing Journeys group will be gathering in the chapel of the Village Church. 3 o'clock, you can get some exercise in the middle of your day with Pilates Stretch with Michelle Smith in the Health Club on the island. Also at 3, the Memory Care group will be meeting in the King's Crown, and they meet on the 3rd floor in the Craft Room. 4:30 brings us time for indoor bocce in the Health Club on the island. And at 5:45, church choir rehearsal will take place at the Village Church. And we wrap up Wednesday with 7:15 prayer and praise. I'm Mary Franklin with Leslie Brand. Make it a happy day.
Menus for Wednesday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is pulled beef enchiladas with Spanish rice and beans. The dinner special is the pasta buffet for $8.95, and the soup of the day is tortellini and sausage. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Wednesday, enjoy a bacon, turkey, and Swiss panini with fresh fruit for $7.25. For dinner, the special is fried shrimp for $8.25. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill on Wednesday are New York Strip for $19.95 or Sole Almondine for $14.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Joy to the World. That favorite carol and many others will resonate in the hall on Sunday, December 8th at 6:15, when a Christmas celebration will be presented by the Village Church Choir and Festival Orchestra. I'm Randy Woods, and I invite you to come and join in this Christmas celebration with the 90-plus voices of the Village Church Choir and a Festival Orchestra consisting of area symphony musicians from the Southwest Florida Symphony, the Naples Philharmonic, and Sarasota Symphony. This musical festival of carols and classics describes the Christmas celebration. The concert will feature Tom Fettke's amazing work, God is With Us. The musical is traditional in style but features innovative twists and turns. It combines exciting and moving classical music by Fauré, Beethoven, Vivaldi, and Tchaikovsky, with some of the world's most loved Christmas carols. The musical expressions alternate between the reflective and the joyous, which provides full expression for meditation and celebration, certain to instill the Christmas spirit in all of us. God is with us. This is a celebration of a miracle, the appearance of God on earth in the body and human soul of Jesus Christ. C.S. Lewis calls this amazing birth a grand miracle. Every other miracle prepares for this, or exhibits this, or results from this. The Incarnation is a sacred event so thrilling, so humbling, so mystifying that we must stand breathless in wonder and awe. God is With Us tells the Christmas story using the choir, guest soloist, our own Gene Hawkins and Carol Cooper, and a beautiful and meaningful narration will be presented by David and Nancy Pavey. The musical begins with the awe-filled simplicity of a Gregorian chant, and it concludes with a fun, festive journey through favorite carols with a nutcracker flair. And in between, one experiences indescribably beautiful music, worthy of the celebration of such a glorious and miraculous event. So I invite you to get your tickets here at the church and plan to join the celebration as with boundless praise and thanks we sing Alleluia, God is with us. The tickets are only $10 each, and we do expect a full house for this Christmas celebration. So stop by the church office or give us a call at 454-2147 and get your tickets today. Be a part of the Christmas celebration this Sunday night, December 8th, at the Village Church, beginning at 6:15.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow as we profile two more pastors who are continuing their call into their retirement. Jerry Palmquist preaches at a local Chinese church, and Harry Pyle continues his life of preaching in small country chapels. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for Wednesday, December 4th. I'm Jared Pike, and from all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.